Hello and welcome to the final part of this SAT Practice Test 1 Math Review series. If you haven't seen the other parts, they're available in the SAT content playlist on my channel, which should be appearing at the top of your screen right now. Without further ado, let's get right into it with question 16. What is the minimum value of the given function? We have g of x equals x squared plus 55. So we know that when something is squared, the lowest possible value is 0 because every other value will be positive. So the minimum value of 0 to all other positive numbers is going to be 0. And x squared is 0 when x is 0. So the minimum value is going to occur with g of x when x is equal to 0. When we plug in 0, we get 0 squared plus 55, which is going to equal 55. So the minimum value is 55, answer choice B. Question 17. Each year, the value of an investment increases by 0.49% of its value the previous year. Which of the following functions best models how the value of the investment changes over time? So we know it's increasing. They tell us that right away. So it's not A or B. Now it's just a matter of increasing linearly or exponentially. In this case, we know it's exponentially because the increase is based on the value the previous year. If it was linear, it wouldn't be based on the value of the previous year. It would just be based on the initial value, right? You're always increasing by some factor of the initial value. Whereas now we're increasing by the previous value. We know that's exponential. Question 18. The population of Greenville increased by 7% from 2015 to 2016. The 2016 population is K times the 2015 population. What is the value of K? So we have P, I'll do P15 times K equals P16. We know that K is just how you model the 7% increase. So we have the initial value, which would be 1.0, plus the 7%, so 1.07 rather. So answer choice C. For example, if you had 100 times 1.07, it would equal 107, which is a 7% increase. So that's how you get A to B. Question 19. Which expression is equivalent to a to the 11 over 12? So what we need to remember for this question is, whenever when you look at our answer choices, we have a to the something and then the something else root of that. So what we do when we have that, we need to know that that's equivalent. So a to the b root c is equal to a to the b over c, right? So when we look at our answer choices, this one is equal to a to the 132 over 12, which is not equal to 11 over 12. When we look here, we have a to the 132 over 144, which simplifies, dividing both sides by 12, the numerator and denominator, to 11 over 12. So this is our answer choice B. Question 20. An event planner is planning a party. It costs the event planner a one-time fee of $35 to rent the venue and $10.25 per attendee. There's a budget of $200. What is the greatest number of attendees without exceeding the budget? So here we have our y-intercept is our one-time fee, and our slope is the attendees. So we have, we'll say C for cost is equal to 10.25x plus 35. And we need to know when C is equal to 200. So first, we can subtract 35 from both sides. And we get 165 is equal to 10.25x. Remember, we're given a calculator for this section. So if you like, then at this point, we just do 165 divided by 10.25 in the calculator, and we get x is equal to 16.1, but we can't have 1/10 of a person. So in this case, we'd round down to 16. So the smallest number of people would be 16 people. Question 21. The absolute value of 4x minus 4 is equal to 112. What is the positive value of x minus 1? So we know when we have the absolute value, that means we take whatever's in the absolute value and we just make it positive. So 4x minus 4 could either equal, you could either have 4x minus 4 is equal to 112, or 4x minus 4 is equal to negative 112. In this case, it's asking for the positive value, which means we can use this top one, and we're going to divide both sides by 4 because it's asking for x minus 1. X minus 1 is equal to 112 divided by 4, which is equal to 28. Just to demonstrate. Divided by 4, 2, 28. So the answer is 28. Question 22. A cube has an edge length of 68 inches. A solid sphere with a radius of 34 inches is inside the cube. The sphere touches the center of each face of the cube. To the nearest cubic inch, what is the volume of space not taken up in the cube, not taken up by the sphere? So to get this, we're going to subtract the area of the sphere from the area, or the volume of the sphere from the volume of the cube. So the volume of the cube is just side cubed, where in this case side is 68, so 68 cubed. And we're going to take 68 cubed minus the volume of the sphere. The volume of the sphere is 4/3 pi r squared, where r is 34. So minus 4/3 pi 34 squared. When we put this into the calculator, we get answer choice A. What is the diameter of the circle in the xy plane with equation x minus 5 squared plus y minus 3 squared is equal to 16? So this is the equation for a circle. And the equation of a circle is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. And this follows that same form. So we know that r squared is equal to 16, with r being the radius. So r is equal to square root of 16, which is going to give us 4. And the diameter is 2 times the radius. So d for diameter equals 4 times 2 is equal to 8, which is answer choice B. For question 24, we're asked for the exponential function f, the value of f of 1 is k, where k is a constant. Which of the following equivalent forms of the function f shows the value of k as the coefficient or the base? So what that's asking us is, for the coefficient or base, it's going to not involve the exponent, right? So how do we get the exponent out of this function to just be left with k? And the way we do that is we raise something to the 0 power, because anything to the 0 power will be 1, and then we'll have k times 1, which will just give us k. So it tells us that our input is 1. So what is our exponent when we input 1 into each of these? So here it's 2, that's not correct. Here it's 1, and here it's 0. So it's answer choice C. And then here it's -1, so that's also not correct. Because to be left with the base, in this case, we'll have 128 times 1.6 to the 0, which becomes 1. So we'll just be left with 128, which would be k. Question 25. A model estimates at the end of each year from 2015 to 2020, the number of squirrels in a population was 150% more than the number of squirrels in the population at the end of the previous year. The model estimates at the end of 2016, there were 180 squirrels in the population. Which of the following equations represents this model, where n is the estimated number of squirrels in the population t years after the end of 2015, and t is less than or equal to 5? So one thing to note is this 180 is for the end of 2016, not 2015. So if we're modeling at the start of 2015 or the end of 2015, we would not use the number for the end of 2016. So that means neither of these can be correct. So now we know that we have 72 is our starting number because it's the only option here. And one way to find your rate of increase is to just take these and divide them. So 72 divided by 180 divided by 72. And that will just give you 2.5. But the other way you can do it is, you know that you start with, to get the same number, you would have 1, right? You multiply by 1. But to increase by 150%, you have to add an additional 1.5 to account for the 1 in the 100% and the 0.5 for the 50%. And that will give you 2.5. So either way you do it, you'll get answer choice B, which is 72 times 2.5 raised to the t. All right, for question 26, in the given pair of equations, a and b are constants. The graph of this pair of equations in the xy plane is a pair of perpendicular lines. Which of the following pairs of equations also represents a pair of perpendicular lines? So when we have perpendicular lines, if one line has a slope of x, the other line has a slope of -1 over x, right? The opposite reciprocal. So first, we can find the slope of this top equation, and we'll get subtract 5x from both sides. We'll get 7x equals -5x plus 1, y equals 7y equals -5x plus 1, y equals -7 over, or 5 over 7x plus 1 over 7. The slope is -5 over 7. We do the same for the bottom equation. by equals -ax plus 1, y equals -ax over b plus 1 over b. So here, -a over b must be equal to -1 over -5 over 7, which is equal to 7 over 5. The negatives cancel, and then you flip the fraction. So a over b is equal to -7 over 5. So now we look at our answer choices, and we find the slope of the top equations for each of our answer choices, and the slope of the bottom equations for each of our answer choices, and we see for which one the slope, if we have a over b, plugging in a over b, we see which one matches the assumption of perpendicular lines. So for the top equation, we would have the slope, I guess the top three, we would have the slope is -10 over 7. And then for the bottom one, we would have 5 over 7. So here and then here, these three. When we look at our bottom equations for each of the answers, here we have ax minus 2by equals 1. Ax minus 1 equals 2by. Y equals ax over 2b. Yeah, ax over 2b minus 1 over 2b. So here, when we plug in -7 over 5 for AB, we get y equals -7 over 10 x as the slope, which is incorrect because we would be looking, in this case, for +7 over 10. So that's wrong. Let me move that, shrink that, and move it to the side. For our second equation, we actually get the same thing, but we would just reverse the sign because the only difference is instead of -2by, we'd have +2by. So in that case, we actually would get 7 over 10. But just to do it out, just to demonstrate, ax plus 2by equals 1, 2by equals 1 minus ax, y equals -ax over 2b plus 1 over 2b. In this case, when we plug in -7 over 5 for a over b, we get +7 over 2 times 5 equals 7 over 10 for the slope, and that is the opposite reciprocal of 10 over 7, so that is the correct answer. In this case, answer choice B. All right, I believe this is the final question. In the given equation, C is a constant. The equation has no real solutions if C is greater than n. What is the least possible value of n? So when we talk about real solutions, we think to the quadratic formula, which is -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And this part right here is where we have to question whether the solutions are real, namely b squared minus 4ac must be greater than or equal to 0. If b squared minus 4ac is less than 0, then you have non-real answers. So we have b B and A. We're just questioning what C is going to be. It tells us C is a constant. So based on what we have, we know that B is negative 34. So we'd have negative 34 squared minus 4A is 1. So we have 4C is less than 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to plug in negative 34 squared into our calculator. We'll get 1156 is less than 4C. We then divide it by 4. We get 289 is less than C. So C must be greater than 289. Because if C is not greater than 289, then we'll have a non-real answer. All right, so that is the last question, I believe, for this SAT Practice Test 1 math review. If there was anything that was unclear, please leave a comment down below. If you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. Really appreciate it. It really helps get the videos out. I look forward to putting out more SAT content. I plan to do reviews for the other practice tests, as well as in-depth reviews on the other math topics. If there's anything else you'd like to see on this channel, I've got a community post recently that has a poll that you can vote on, or you can just leave a comment down below. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.